Hello and welcome to Eat These Words. Today I'm going to be doing a recipe that a lot of people seem to struggle with. It's a relatively new recipe, by which I mean it was kind of invented in the 1950s in Scotland. However, and people seem to struggle with certain aspects of it, so I'm going to give it a go today and show you how I make it. So let's see how we make Millionaire shortbread, caramel shortbread. We're going to start off by lining a tray with baking parchment. Now you do need some form of paper in here, greaseproof paper, tin foil, be it what it may. We need to be able to release this once it's done, and it won't do it if you don't have something in there for starters. Put your oven onto gas mark 4. So in my bowl I've got some butter, which I've slightly gone too far with when I softened it up in the microwave, and I'm going to add to my 5 ounces of softened butter, I'm going to add 4 ounces of caster sugar, and I'm going to mix that in. It's called creaming, and we need to go quite a distance with it. I would advise you to use butter with this recipe because it's got a better taste for starters, and it sets better as well, so you won't have any issues with it. I have tried it in the past with stalk margarine. It doesn't taste as good. Use butter. If you're gonna go all out, go all out. And we need to mix this until it's a few shades lighter. It's like making a cake. May not take as long because the butter was fairly soft. You can use a hand mixer if you wish. And basically what we're doing is making shortbread the old-fashioned way. This is a Scottish recipe. It dates back to the 1950s. However, it evolved from shortbread itself, which has been around since the 12th century in Scotland. They used to make it with oats. I'll link a couple of recipes. I'll link a couple of recipes below for you that show you some shortbread recipes. But I figured it would be a nice thing to show you for Easter, because it is rich, and it should look like maybe a couple of shades lighter, which it is just about there. What I'm going to do now is sieve in 10 ounces of plain flour. You could use oats if you so wanted, that would not be a problem, but I would be inclined to blend them in a food processor to make them into a powder. A coarse powder is good enough. Or if you've seen my Grasmere gingerbread the other week, it would be lovely with that on the bottom, I have to say. After years of having to limit what they had, things started coming back in the 1950s, and this kind of evolved from that, I would say. Could be wrong, let me know if I am. They started to add more sugar into their diet. I know my father, he's in his 80s, I keep mentioning him, but it's true, and my father-in-law as well, both love sweet things. Sugar wasn't around as much when they were kids. Just scrape down my spoon for a minute, and we're aiming to make this into like breadcrumbs. We're going to treat it like it's a pastry, more or less. If you've made shortbread before, you know what I'm aiming for. Now it's got several names, this recipe. The one I know it as is caramel shortbread. Can also be called caramel shortcake. It's also known as a Millionaire's shortbread. There we go, see? So you've got like a biscuit crumb sort of consistency, if you will. What we want to do now is take our tray and tip it all into our tray. Woo! Try not to get it everywhere, guys, like me. Right, spread it out into the 4 corners. Doesn't have to be even at this stage. Just get it spread it out. Just get it spread out. Okay. And then press down. You can start with your spatula, and then work onto your hand is my advice. Just tap it down to start off with. Right, so I've got all that down and I'm going to press down with my hands. So Knuckles does it, it's a great thing, your knuckles. Your hands are a great thing. And when you're baking, don't be scared to use them. So long as you're clean, as long as your hands are clean, you're laughing. And just give it a good press. We want it well down. And then we're going to pop it into the oven on gas mark 4 until golden brown. Hello and welcome to all those people who've subscribed recently, and I am so pleased you're here.
So this has got a caramel interior and it's pretty straightforward to make so long as you've got some courage, okay? So in my bowl I have, to make the caramel, 1 ounce of butter, 2 tablespoons of golden syrup and 4 ounces of caster sugar. And to that I'm going to add 1 full tin, that's 400 grams of sweetened condensed milk, and that's all going in there. Once you've got all your milk in your pan, take a spatula. You need a spatula for this, don't use a spoon. Turn on the heat, and we want it to be on a low heat. We don't want a high heat. If you put it on a high heat, you could end up with burning, and we don't want that. We want a nice steady heat. Evaporated milk is not the same as sweetened condensed milk. So don't use evaporated milk, please. It doesn't work. You need to use a spatula that's got a bit of a flat bottom on it so that you can scrape the bottom of your pan. So my butter is just about to finish melting there, and it will get thinner. It will. If you can smell any burning or anything, or you think it's too hot, turn the heat down for a minute and just keep stirring it until you can feel no more crystals from the sugar. And then gently increase the heat, just gently, just a little bit, because we're going to let it boil. And as there's so much sugar in here from the condensed milk, the golden syrup and the actual caster sugar itself, you do need to keep stirring. Do not, under any circumstances, please touch it. It will be scorching. You will scald yourself. It would be ideal if you've got children not to let them do this bit. Right, you can see it's starting to come to a simmer. If you feel it's getting a bit too much, just turn it down gently and let it do it quietly, and then just keep stirring. Some people say to make it in the microwave. I have never ever done that. I've always done it on the stove top and never had a problem with it. It's starting to boil now, so I'm going to turn it down slightly and I'm going to let it bubble away, stirring continuously. Keep scraping the edges. And don't forget to go through the middle, because that's where it can catch. Now look, it's starting to change colour slightly now, but that's not enough. It needs to be toffee coloured. So we're going to keep going until we're happy with the colour. Make sure you've got a flat bottom pan and there's no crevices in the bottom of your pan, because that's where it will catch. Ideally heavy bottomed, because they distribute the heat better, but I don't have a heavy bottom pan, so I'm using this pan. You just need to make sure that you stir it. It's starting to thicken up slightly now, as you can see. It's not as thin as it was, but keep going. It's nowhere near the right colour now. Now some people might stop at this stage because it does look thick. Nah, keep going. It'll feel like it takes forever, but it's worth it. We're on 10 minutes now of doing this. It's getting there, but not quite yet. It's starting to really darken up now, just a bit more. If you don't take it far enough, it'll ooze when you come to cut it, and we don't want that. Here we go. It's getting there now. Going really dark now. What I'll do is I'll put on the screen now a picture of when it started and a picture of now, so you can see what the difference is. Okay, I think we're there. That looks dark enough to me. That's a good proper caramel sauce, that.
So my shortbread has come out of the oven about 10-15 minutes ago, and it's still warm, but it's not hot. And my caramel sauce I've left to stand for about 5 minutes, and now I'm giving it a good stir so that it doesn't have a skin on it. And I'm going to add to it about 20 smashed up Cadbury's mini eggs, because I want to. You don't have to do this. It's all going in there with the rubble and everything. Give it a stir. And I'm going to pop that now on top of my shortbread to set. Ew, clarty. Clarty for larty. But you can see the difference in colour with the caramel. And this is something that a lot of people don't do. They don't give it long enough in the pan. I've seen people with it being like really, what's the word I'm looking for? Clear. It's just about clear. Well, no, give it a bit of time. So, yeah, spread it about. You could add flavourings to your toffee before you start making it, in the form of cinnamon, ginger, mixed spice, if you want to make it more Easterish, if that's a word. Look at that, lovely. Okay, so what I'm going to do with that now is just leave that to set before I put the final topping on. So I'm going to leave that there and clean up. For the top of my caramel shortbread, I have placed some boiling hot water in the bottom of this pan, and I'm going to use it as a bain-marie, which basically means it keeps the temperature a bit more even than what it would be if you just put it straight into a pan. I'm going to put the heat on just gently. We don't want it on too high. If it's on too high, you could get boiling water, and we don't want that. The water shouldn't be touching the bowl that you've got your chocolate in either. We don't want that. And this is going to be the top of our caramel shortbread. I've got in here, just because that's the way I am, I've got 100 grams of milk chocolate and 100 grams of dark chocolate. And it is good quality chocolate, but you can use Cadbury's Galaxy, whatever chocolate you like. Just be careful not to overheat it, because it will seize up. And by seize up, what happens is it goes into a clump and it goes all grainy. We don't want that. Keep it moving. We don't want it to get too hot. It'll look like it's never going to do anything, and then all of a sudden it will. It's the joys of cooking. Whoops. Things look like they're never going to happen, and then they do. Now you can use all milk or all dark, it's up to you. I like dark personally, but the family don't, and I'm not the one that eats this generally, it's the family. So I've gone for what I've got, which is a little bit left over of dark and a little, just to use it up, and a little bit left over of milk. So happy mediums is all I say. But don't be scared to mix your chocolates, it's not the end of the world. Ideal for Easter. I wouldn't really make it any other time of the year, purely because it is very rich. You don't need a lot of it. I think some people would argue, but hey. Yeah, let's go in there now. See, it's nearly there. Just have to be careful that we don't overdo it. I'll just knock the heat off. There we go, that's done. So I'm going to take that off there now and put it on top of my shortbread. And I'm just going to tip the chocolate that we've just melted on top and spread it around. It is still slightly warm, but not hot. Okay, pop that there, and then just spread it about. Doesn't need to be a thick coating of chocolate. It's just there to say hello. If you want to add more chocolate, you can do. That's up to you. It's just my recipe says 200 grams, so 200 grams it is. And then all I'm going to do is sprinkle a few more crushed up mini eggs on top. Now it's up to you how many you use for any of this. I'm just going to sprinkle, because why not? If you're going to have mini eggs, you might as well have a few, eh? There we go. Why do they always land the wrong side up? That's what I want to know. Look at that, no colour. None of the colours up the way it should be. So I'm going to turn them. I'm sure my family will be really pleased that there's loads of mini eggs on top, because they all like mini eggs. One thing I would not encourage you to do is put it in the fridge, for the simple reason the chocolate could split as well, and we don't want it to. We want it to look nice. And there you go. I'm going to leave that to set, and I'll be back with you when it's set. Mini egg caramel shortbread, or if you want to call it something else, Millionaire shortbread. But here you go, there it is. Look at that. The caramel is perfectly set, the chocolate is set, and it's a lovely cross section there of what you get. So let's try it. Exactly what you'd expect it to taste like. Sweet, rich, and decadent. Lovely. If you like what I'm doing, hit me up with a thumbs up. It all helps to push my video out to other people. Hope you like what you see, and if you do, subscribe, hit the notification bell. My videos will be sent straight to your inbox. For now, thanks for watching this week, and I'll see you in the next one. Liz out.